Hello, this is Jorge Monraz. This is my application MediPred. There were a lot of improvements during this week. So first of all, I want to show the dashboard of my application. So I'm just gonna log in right now. This is connected with my PostgreSQL database. So my admin user is connected to my PostgreSQL database, and then I have a Django backend framework project where I have all my different views. In here I can access the different URLs in the application and then authenticate my user. So if I click login, this is the dashboard. This was added this week. So there's two different graphs that I created. Uh, the first one is diabetes risk analyst. So this basically tells you how many patients you have with risk of getting diabetes, how many how many patients you have without any risk of getting diabetes. The other one is just a simple pie chart which shows you the different categories of ages from infants to seniors. So it tells you how many patients you have created in the system for each category. Okay. In here, I want to implement another type of graph, but I'm still thinking of what will be useful in here. So this is left blank for now. Um, the other improvement was the navigation. So in here, I included React routes, which basically routes the application to different URLs of the application, so it's easier to navigate. So if you take a look in here on my main JavaScript file, I have a router, and then I have two different routes, one for login and then one for the home screen. This is only visible when the authenticator is set to true, and after that, if the authenticator is set to true, it takes you to the home screen, and then in here I have my different routes for patients, appointments, analytics dashboard. So that's how the users navigate through the application. Another thing is in here on the patient's management, I connected the database to the React application, which this is real data that is stored in the PostgreSQL database. So, for example, if I run a SQL command of the patients, you're gonna see that there's different patients created and they are displaying here. Okay, so also another improvement is the hover animation, and also I can select different rows and it's highlighted. Um, the other part is I added create patient form in here. Um, there are a couple of improvements that I made here. So for example, there's some required fields, the ones that have an asterisk. So for example, if I leave everything in blank, the system is going to tell me to fill all required fields. Also, I just want to show that also the system doesn't let you create a patient with the same email address that is already in the database. So let me show you really quick. So if I click save, it's gonna tell me that a patient with email inputted already exists in the system. So I'm just gonna do a test, a dummy email, sorry. So you can see that we can create um, the users. So it's this one right here, the last one. And then if I run my SQL query, I can see the patient that I just created in here. Okay, so this is all real-time data that is being communicated with the database. Um, this is all for the patient's model. The other part that I work on is the analytics part. So in here I created this menu, which I'm going to implement in the future. It's going to be different predictions using a machine learning model, which I have in here on my Django application. So this is a different project that I created, and I just imported the diabetes model in here. So I'm just gonna create different models for each uh, prognostication and put it in here. So in my Django backend also I have my machine learning logic, which is the one that predicts the output based on different information inputted from the system. and then my general logic, which is authentication, get all patients, create patients. So that's it. That is organizing here on the app application. And then in here, I have my prediction model. So if we take a look on the views, this is a post HTTP request, which is loading my model and then making the predictions and providing an output. So this is only for the diabetes part. In here, I haven't created these ones, but I'm going to work on that. So if I click on the diabetes, I can see real information from the database. I need to fix this. I'm not sure why it's like that. But also in here, I can select rows and it's highlighted. Um, so for example, these ones, I don't have all the patients in here because you have to run the prognostication, the prediction, in order to see the outcome in here. So this is not correct. It should be this one in here, the outcome. So for example, if I click on the plus sign, in here I have a different form. This is where I make predictions. If you see, everything is in blank because I need to search for a patient, but if I were to leave it blank, the system is going to tell me no patient selected. So I just click right here on the search icon, and then I can choose the patient that I want to make a prediction on. Also right here I can search by the first name. So for example, I'm going to do Jonathan Joestar, and I just double click, and then all the information is appearing in here. And now if I leave all of this blank, which is the information required for the model to make a prediction, the system's going to tell me that I need to fill all the required fields. Also, if I let's say I fill only 3 required fields, the system's still going to tell me that I need to fill all required fields. And then if I just input everything, I'm just going to save, and then right here I have the prediction. So this is positive. So this means this patient has high risk of getting diabetes. It should be in here. I'm going to fix that. But this is how it works. Also, I'm working on the edit button. So right here, if I choose, let's say I select a patient and click on edit, I can edit the analysis to update the prediction or make a new prediction for this patient. Also, I made validation in there. So for example, if I go back and I don't have anything selected right now, so if I click on the edit, it's not going to work. So I need to select a patient in order for this to work. And that's all that I work during this week. Next week, I'm going to work on organizing my code, because one thing that I noticed is that I started my project without having good knowledge on how to organize a React project, and I have a little bit of mess. I have my components and screens files in here, but there are some components that are not reusable. So I need to work on that so I can make all of these components reusable, and then that way I can start to code my project easily and faster. Also, one thing that I will do different if I start a different React project is the router in here, the routes, because at the beginning I rendered the components conditionally. So I had different conditions in here to render the components, which made the user experience very bad. The navigation was bad. So I changed it to to React router. So it's easier to navigate and then navigate through different models, different screens, and then render different components. It took me a while to modify the code because I already had it on the other way, but now it's cleaner. So I'm just going to work on cleaning the different files and making the components reusable. Also in here on my Django project, I need to reorganize some of the methods because there are so many lines of code that I can consolidate in just a few lines. So that's all I have for today. Thank you for watching.